Game Pass is the future. There is no question in my mind. And articles like this, when they drop information like this, underscore the fact that gaming is changing forever. There are players out there, there are people out there that say, no. I don't want a subscription service. Why? That doesn't make sense. Game Pass makes no sense. Why? It's the best value in gaming. You can literally consume all your other media through subscription services via Netflix, movies, music, for instance. Why not gaming? Why not video games? And Xbox, not only is Game Pass the future, Xbox is leading the way here, and this article is further proof of it. Now, this article goes over, in 2 years, Xbox has seen a six-fold increase in Game Pass Ultimate adoption. Six-fold increase in Game Pass Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate is their highest tier, right? So these come from the EU Commission documents that were submitted from Xbox during the Activision Blizzard acquisition. And we just get some of these gems here. But let's go over this and take a look. Six-fold increase, 6x increase in Game Pass Ultimate. I know people who don't own an Xbox, but have Game Pass Ultimate because of the deal that it is, because of how awesome it is of a deal for gamers. So here's what Paul Tassi has to say. Let's talk about it. Let's review it. Let's go over the numbers and see what this means for gaming overall. I think we're going to see everybody go to a gaming subscription model. I think PlayStation, the reason they opposed Activision Blizzard is because of the numbers you're about to see in this article and the math that's done here. The commission reveals that in just 2 years, from 2019 to 2021 on PC, this is not counting consoles, on PC, Game Pass's share of Microsoft's subscription service revenue, i.e. its total Game Pass signups across all tiers, had increased from 20 to 30% to 70 to 80%. They saw an 80% revenue increase jump on Game Pass on PCs. That's huge. On console, the increase is even more enormous, from 5 to 10% share to 50 to 60% share, again in just 2 years. And this data is now just under 2 years old. Why? Because while Microsoft has made Game Pass Ultimate its most expensive offering, it's also its best deal. For $17 a month, it folds in PC and console Game Pass, so you can play those included games on both platforms, including all its high-profile day one releases, like the upcoming Starfield. It also comes with EA Play, plus it includes an Xbox Live Gold subscription, which on console is required to play multiplayer online. So instead of just buying PC solo or console plus gold, the idea is that you might as well just be buying Game Pass Ultimate. That's why I own Game Pass Ultimate, so that I can play on both PC, so that I can play. And remember, there are PC only drops to Game Pass. So there are Game Pass games that you can only play on PC versus Game Pass games that you can only play on console. And then there's obviously crossovers, and then you get all the day ones, obviously. So either way, Paul Tassi continues here. Either way, these Game Pass share numbers reveal that if there's a 70% overall adoption rate for Game Pass Ultimate across all subscriptions to the service, so we know that the numbers are 25 million, right? That's the latest numbers for Xbox. So if 70% is Game Pass Ultimate, that means 17.5 million would have been Ultimate. That's $297.5 million a month in revenue. So this is all hypothetical. This is Paul Tassi doing the math. We actually don't know these numbers. We just know the overall numbers. And he's putting 2 and 2 together because the last numbers we had was that Game Pass was at 25 million. So we're making assumptions here. Now, granted, a lot of these are going to be probably that $1 jump in for free, but how many people keep it after that? The reason that you do that $1 is because you assume the deal is so good that players just need to experience it and then they'll pay for it. That's what happened to me. So out of the 25 million Game Pass, if going off of these numbers, 70% adoption rate, that means 17 million of the 25 million would be Ultimate. That's almost 300 million per month in revenue. He says, but then let's add the other 30% from lower price subscription, and you're getting around that $1 billion per subscription revenue per quarter that was last reported, or $4 billion a year. He's basically saying the math adds up here. Already, Microsoft is right around $4 billion a year, assuming that these numbers are, going off these numbers, putting two together. That's huge. That is absolute, and that's just the beginning, guys. We're just at the beginning here. You can see why Microsoft, Paul Tassi continues, says, doesn't care all that much about console or game sales anymore if they keep grabbing Game Pass Ultimate signups, which simply print money. That's the idea. That's why digital has always been, software has always been where the money is at. That's what Game Pass Ultimate is. And Game Pass. Sure, you're missing out on Starfield sales. But a Game Pass subscriber who thinks, and this is the key, it's a psychological game, right? You think you're getting that game for free. I've said it myself all the time. I'm playing $160 a year. In reality, however, look at all the games that I'm getting. It's worth it to me because all the games that I'm getting. However, when a game comes out, I don't think of it as me buying that game. Even though I'm paying this Game Pass subscription, I'm thinking, oh, I get this for free. What a deal. It's not really for free. So there's a psychological element to subscription services like this. So a Game Pass subscriber who thinks they're getting that game for free is still paying $160 a year. In reality, of course, they have access to the full Game Pass catalog still. And so you can see, based off of these numbers, right? I mean, Microsoft is already a giant, huge company, but let's just take the Xbox division. Based off these numbers, let's say you double this, right? All of a sudden you double 25 million Game Pass subscribers, you get to 50 million Game Pass subscribers. We can assume that you double that revenue. You're looking at $8 to $10 billion. You can quickly see why Xbox was so willing to put so much into Bethesda, $7 billion, and Activision Blizzard. Because over the span of a decade, if you're able to continue to grow your Game Pass subscription, it pays for itself. Easily pays for itself. And I think that's why, honestly, PlayStation, you're seeing here, as you look at these numbers, they're doing the math as well. And you can see why they opposed the Activision Blizzard deal. That's how big of a deal this was, because Activision, remember, Call of Duty is the number one played game over on PlayStation. Now you wrap that into a Game Pass subscription. You wrap that into a Game Pass Ultimate subscription for PC players. How big do you think Call of Duty is on PC? It's ginormous. It's one of the top played games in the world. You imagine you're going to get subscribers from that. That's the calculation that Xbox is making. That's the calculation that Sony is making, and that's why it's been this tooth and nail fight going on in order for it to happen. That's why it's so big that Xbox got this. And this may not be the last one to drop. We keep seeing things about Sega in the news. We know that they have a really friendly relationship. We now had the big news from Final Fantasy that it's coming, and probably a closer relationship maybe between Square Enix. Why not pay for an exclusive release only on Xbox from, let's say, the next Square Enix game? Would that get people into Game Pass? Absolutely it would. And that's the calculation. You can see it's, in the words of Paul Tassi, it's a money printing machine. This is why they're not concerned with Xbox sales. So last week, I think we got how big of sales, it looks like PlayStation sales are almost double than Xbox. And everybody, oh, look at PlayStation still dominating Xbox. Meanwhile, Phil Spencer and the gang over on Xbox are looking at these numbers and sitting back and just saying, okay, okay, like go sell your consoles, which you take a loss on anyways, or, break even at most once you hit critical mass, but it's insane. These numbers are huge. Absolutely insane. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward how this continues to evolve and how this starts to become the norm. I just think we're in that transitionary period, and why there's kickback against it as the reason why people are against it. But everybody will see. This is going to be the norm, and it's a great value. The reason they're making a lot of money is because it's a great value for gamers, period. That's it. When you provide a good service at a great value to people, they will give you money. That's why I give them my money. Amen. Amen. I would love to know what you guys think, though. Is Paul Tassi or myself overstating this at all? Is this the future of gaming? Let me know in the comments below on this. Let's jump over here to this next article that I'd like to finish today's video off with. And you can't see the headline because the formatting is a little bit off. This is from GameRant.com, but Xbox Series S does not hold back gaming, Baldur's Gate 3 boss says. So we've heard a few times from developers that the Series S is holding back gaming, and not even developers. I think there was one developer that said this from Rocksteady, and then the media picked up on it. It's just been repeated a few times. The Xbox Series S, because it's lower power, holds back development. And that's not the case here at all. This is coming from a third-party dev not a first-party studio like a Bethesda, for instance. The Xbox Series S is not holding back the current generation of consoles, according to Larian Studio CEO Sven Vink. The Belgian company, apologies if I mispronounced your name there. The Belgian company recently ran into some issues while porting its upcoming RPG to the Xbox Series X, which is why the Xbox version of Baldur's Gate 3 is still without a release date. Here's what he says. He believes that the difference in specs between the Xbox Series S and X has been way overblown. Having said as much in a recent interview with SkillUp, asked whether the Xbox Series S is somehow holding back gaming, the Baldur's Gate 3 boss outright dismissed that notion, stating that Microsoft's less powerful console simply requires development effort. Seeing how Larian started out as a CRPG-only studio, the company is used to making sure that its games work on a wide variety of configurations, the industry veteran explained. He doesn't see the Xbox Series S as any more burdensome to support than something like the Steam Deck, which is even less powerful than Microsoft's most affordable current-gen console. For context, Larian already confirmed that it's working on making Baldur's Gate 3 Steam Deck compatible, although the game isn't expected to have a Steam Deck verified status on day one. He also revealed that the vast majority of current-gen Xbox owners bought the Series S instead of the Series X. That's because of the fantastic deal. Microsoft said that the total sales of the two systems reached 21 million units in late June, which combined with Larian CEO's newly shared insight puts the Series S install base in the 8-digit category. His positive take, this article concludes, on the system is still an important vote of confidence for the Microsoft Xbox Series X because it comes from an entirely independent developer instead of Microsoft's subsidiary like Bethesda or Tango Gameworks, both of whom have defended the console in the past. I think largely what this means, the reason I wanted to cover this article is because I think it's just media nonsense. Media decides to blow up an article because someone says something, a rock-steady developer, and that's it. It becomes fact, and this takes on a narrative of its own, when it's not the case at all. When you look at Steam Deck, I think is a great example. Games are still coming to Steam Deck. It's not holding back gaming at all. It just requires development time and development effort is all. That's it. So there you have it. I'll end today's video on that, ladies and gentlemen, but let me know what you think. Do you think that this is just a narrative piece that the media spins here? I do. I 1000% do. And so the only reason that this is now an article is because someone has punched back the other way, and someone from a third-party studio from Larian. But I think these numbers, these Forbes numbers, not Forbes, but just the numbers in the Forbes article are mind-blowing and underscore the future of gaming is bright. The future of gaming is Game Pass, and Xbox is absolutely headed on the right trajectory, and time, I think, will prove them correctly. I would love to know what you think, though. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget that like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We cover Xbox news all the time right here on this channel, and I'll see you guys next time.